you? You at work? Okay, great. Well, I have a question to ask you. You having a good day? Good, 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 good. Well, look, I'm at the mall and there is this sale going on and I really need your help. I know I asked you for 2000. I know, $2,000 is a lot. $2,000 to buy these boots, and I really just want to make sure I look great for you. So how about that? Can you pull out your credit card? No. Well, they're going to be for you. I mean, they're going to look great. When do I get paid? I don't know. I think I get paid. That money's already gone technically, so it's just a little bit easier for me to use a little bit what you have. Please? Yeah, I will. I will. The shoes are going to look great. Okay, thanks. It's Lorie Woodruff, and welcome to Lorie TV, the place to be in order to get all the extraordinary business and life tips that you deserve. And today is Q&A Wednesday. This gives us a chance to come together every Wednesday and discuss all the business and life topics that you need. And today's question comes from LaShawn. LaShawn asks, the discussion of money and lifestyles are a tough topic. While growing up, I never had the pleasure of shopping and buying nice things for myself. Now, as an adult, I have a great job, own my home, and love shopping for myself and my family. It helps fill a void that I wasn't able to do years ago. What is the biggest problem? If I have it, why not spend it? LaShawn, I think you've been watching enough channels to know where I'm going to go with this one. That's a great topic, and I'm glad we can tackle that. Simply, we're still in the first part of the year, so we still want to make sure that everyone's sticking to their budgetary sayings of, hey, I'm going to do better in 2013. So let's stick with a couple of things. I've got 6 great tips that should help you stay on target for money versus lifestyle, because it can really get a little bit tricky once you start getting it and earning it and not knowing what to do with it next, okay? The first thing is to create a written budget. And I say written simply because you can't have it all in your head. It has to be written down. Believe it or not, being that I'm a realtor, I have to make sure, even when we're doing consultations with buyers, that they know what they're about to get into. It's not just about what's showing on their credit report. It's also about, what about gas? What about groceries? What about expenses that you spend at church? So you have to take a look at some things and take in consideration, when you take a look at that, how much money do I really have left over every month? And that is your true, honest number. Believe it or not, you may hate that number, but you really need to be real with yourself to see that number so that you know how much to spend or not to spend the next month going forward. The next thing you want to do, number 2, is spend less than you bring in. Hello, pretty simple. How do the millionaires keep their money? If they make $1 million, they certainly don't spend $1 million. So you have to make sure whatever you are bringing in, take a look at your budget and be very, very conservative. You'll be very excited to see how much money you can actually save by cutting the fat on a lot of things. Once you take a look at how much money you're actually spending on eating, yeah, you'd be pretty amazed to see how much money is going out the door. Shopping, cut coupons. You know, we're not in a society where it's taboo to do that anymore. Make sure there's so many things on your cell phone that you can get free coupons for, at least let's call it discounts. It might be a little bit easier to say that. You can get discounts on a lot of things, from food all the way up to clothing to services, so that you're not paying a lot for things, okay? The third thing is to boost your income. I love that one because I'm all about making extra streams of income. So LaShawn, if you are working in whatever capacity that you're in, bring that money in, but also maybe get some part-time income to facilitate what you're doing. So just imagine you're working one job. You have one stream of income coming in, but how many sources of income are going out the door? There's a lot of things pulling out our pockets every month, so the ratio just doesn't make sense. So of course, I have multiple streams of income coming in. I work in real estate, I have a financial education services business that I do consulting on the side. There's different streams of income coming in because I just don't have one bill, neither do you. So keep that in mind as far as having some other sources of income to come in the door. Number 4 is stop relying on credit cards. Credit card companies know what's going on. So be fully aware that living on credit cards is not your second job. You cannot rely on those credit cards to sustain some things. So make sure if the credit cards are there, they are just there for emergencies. And I don't mean Louis Vuitton emergencies. I really mean emergencies for your car if something were to happen at home. Just be very careful with the credit cards. And number 5 is save up for purchases instead of putting everything on your credit cards. That simply means put some money in the bank before you go buy a laptop. Put some money in the bank before you go upgrade and get another iPad or some other tool that you need for business or pleasure. So that definitely is going to make sure that your savings account is pumped up rather than you pulling from your credit cards. And the 6th tip is, LaShawn, get an emergency fund. An emergency fund is something, if you have direct deposit, you can certainly do that on your job, which may be very helpful for you to do. Also, what you may want to consider is getting maybe an internet-based bank, such as ING Direct, something like that, where the money will go right from your payroll and you'll never even see it. That way, if you don't have any credit cards or debit cards attached to that card or checks, so it's harder to get to that money. So emergency funds are always great. Even if you have a local bank, try to get at least a savings account where you can't touch the money, or it's very difficult to touch the money by not having those accessibilities such as the debit cards and the checks. So that's one great tip, so that you don't touch the money. Okay, so hopefully, LaShawn, that is a wonderful and perfect A to your Q. And anyone else that has needs to get those money tips, those are basic tips, but a lot of times we get away from it and we need to be kicked in the butt sometimes with those main tips. Okay, so let me leave you with this face tweet of the day. Hold yourself responsible for a higher standard than anyone expects of you. And that's by me, the famous Lorie. Thank you so much. Every week gets better and better with information, so thank you so much for tuning in to Lorie TV. If you have any questions or comments that you'd like to have answered, please come on over to Lorie TV. I'd love to hear from you. Also, if you'd like to be featured on the show, come on over and find out how you can be sitting right here next to me and giving some great advice to some of your public out here, okay? Remember, this show is all about you, to make you extraordinary in your business and in life. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time on Lorie TV.